Are you ready to level up your leadership game?
If so, today's topic is something you cannot ignore.
Self awareness.
My name is Armando.
And my name is Anja, and we are your hosts on the Dynamic Duo podcast.
Self awareness isn't just a personal development buzzword, it's a powerful skill to have because it directly impacts how you lead, make decisions, and connect with your team.
In this episode, we'll show you how reflecting for just a few minutes each day can improve your emotional intelligence, help you identify patterns in your behavior, and ultimately make you a more effective leader.
We'll break down practical methods like journaling, meditation, and even creative activities. But most importantly, how to fit them into your busy schedule.
So stick around and let's dive into how self-awareness can become one of your leadership superpowers. Hello, Armando. Welcome back. It's nice to see you and to record with you.
Nice to see you. Same ditto, ditto. Good to see you again.
Yes. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. The sun is shining again after a whole week. It was rainy and cloudy. So after we finish recording, I'm going to go outside.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it was actually raining before, like 1 hour before, and now the sun is out. It's like
nice.
It's weird weather right now.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining as long as the sun sometimes shows up. I'm happy.
You're happy with that. That's right.
Exactly. So today's topic, self-awareness and reflection. Yeah, why should we reflect? Why should we be self-aware?
That's a great question. Tell me.
Well, like we said in the intro, it helps with decision making for sure. Yeah, because when you realize and reflect on your days, on what's important to you, then you can make better decisions for the future. I think it's important to learn from the past. John Maxwell says, how does he say it? Now I'm hopefully not rephrasing it wrong, but a lot of people say experience is the best teacher, but he says reflected experience is the best teacher. Because experience alone doesn't teach you anything if you don't listen to it. So, yeah, I think that's one reason why we should reflect, so we can use the past to make a better future.
Yeah, I think you're right. And thinking about the hectic type of life that we experience in many places of the world, other than, if you, maybe some of our audience live in a very idyllic environment where everything is green and the birds sing and unicorns run free on the backyard and things like that. Most of us do not experience that environment. Yep. And and we live under constant stress. Different obligations or duties that we have to accomplish, whether in our personal life or in our professional or place of work, traffic, even here in Europe, I experienced that. I know in Latin America, I experienced that too, where you had to commute in the traffic and the noise and the heat and the smoke of the cars. And it can be very, very draining emotionally and physically and mentally. But even here in Europe, I mean, for a few months I commute between the place that I live and Hanover on the train. But even it was a daily commute, almost 4 hours. Yeah, both ways. With the train. I had to take the train. Well, I had to get to the station, and then from the station take the train to the main central station in Hanover, and then take a bus in Hanover to the place I was coaching. So yeah, it's demanding. So I think that's very demanding on our emotions, and when that suffers our emotional well-being, um, it can be tough and it can affect. And if that suffers, if we're emotionally not well,
Yeah.
it can impact our own life, but also our team, the people we are leading, our company, the bottom line, as we say, but also our family, relationships and so on. So I think like we mentioned in the introduction, it can be a superpower, but we really need to be purposeful. We really need to work on that because it will not happen by itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny story. Maybe a little bit off topic, but when you talked about commuting in South America, I was just remembering the time when I was in Bolivia to learn
Hmm.
Spanish. I had to take the bus, or I don't know if it's called bus,
La
but
guagua.
and when you had to wave at the bus driver that you wanted to
Stop.
get in.
Yeah, right.
You also had to shout La
Bajan.
Esquina
Ah, o la
to,
esquina. Yeah.
yeah, there were, it was like the next corner I want to get out.
Right.
And I hated that. I was shy, and I knew, like, I thought even in that single word everybody would know that I'm not speaking Spanish really well. So so I hated that, and I always went in and tried to stay at the front, so now I didn't have to shout through the whole bus.
I can see you. I can see you.
It's funny because I think, because I mean, in Switzerland you just press a button. You don't have to. Nobody knows who's going out, but there you have like
Yeah.
everybody you want to get out next.
That's
To
funny. I mean, I can see you there. I can see you there. Well,
it's
you're not the only one. A lot of people will really go to the front and next to the driver and they're like en la esquina, and they go down at the front door. Yeah. So, but I can see that. Yeah, I know. I
yeah.
know. That's funny.
But that also, I mean, it helped me to get a little bit out of my comfort zone.
That's right. That's right. Well, my question for you is at the end of your stay in Bolivia, were you able to shout en la esquina?
Well, I guess I never shouted like I was from there.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, but
But
I got more comfortable
all
with
right.
time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
takes a little confidence and character, because that you have a bus full of people and strangers, and you're like just shouting on the, hey, I want to get out.
Yeah.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, but back
Oh,
to the
oh no,
topic.
sorry. Now I will not be able to. That image will stay with me the whole day today, Anja. So,
Yeah, it's one
yeah,
of the things I remember of Bolivia,
all right.
and I probably won't forget for the rest of my life that I
That's
had
that's
shout to get out of the
that's funny.
bus.
That's funny. Okay. All right, back on topic.
Back on topic. Yeah. Um, yeah, another thing reflection does is it uncovers bad emotions, or better, I mean, we know we have bad emotions.
Hmm.
Like I have to shout now through the whole bus. An uncomfortable emotion.
Right.
When I think about it, when you reflect on it, you can learn what this bad emotion is telling you. And actually, also, well, I don't want to call them bad emotions because
Mm.
emotions are not bad, but you can learn what your emotions are telling you, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable emotion. And when it's an uncomfortable emotion, like you're sad or you're angry,
Right.
maybe there's something beneath you don't know yet that needs healing.
Right.
And so if you think about it and you reflect, okay, I got angry here and I got angry at the same topic 2 months ago, then only if you reflect, you can figure out a pattern or what is going on. You can sit in that emotion and you can learn from the emotion and heal. And that's also something I'm learning more and more for the past year, I
Mm,
guess, to just sit in the emotion and try to figure out what is what is causing this emotion that I don't like or that
mhm,
I would rather, instead of thinking I can't be sad now or I shouldn't be angry now,
mhm.
um, why? Why am I
Right.
angry? Why am I sad now? Why do I feel the way I feel? And what is it telling me?
Mhm,
And is there a wound connected to this emotion that
mhm,
just triggers me to feel that way? And if so, sit and feel the wound, feel the emotion so it can finally heal. So
mhm,
so it won't trigger you anymore to just snap out of nowhere or something like that.
mhm. Yeah, I think you're right because that's one of the consequences or symptoms or yeah, the result of not being self-aware that we cannot diagnose or we can the level of emotional health we have and things that are happening in our surroundings we cannot read the room so to speak but also I think it touches on this emotional health issue and we spoke about emotional health a couple of episodes ago but I think when leaders when things don't go up don't happen when they don't go as planned or as they visioned and it feels like the whole world is crumbling, right? I mean, they are not able to really evaluate the situation. They cannot. They are not in the state of mind to be creative, right? To react without without how do you call that? Offending uh, everyone in the team and yelling and shouting and instead of adjusting, right? Instead of seeking or looking for a solution and moving forward. So I think that's again one of the benefits of being self-aware or and promoting self-aware and working on our self-awareness is just the ability to be resilient, the ability to to have a strong mindset
Mhm.
to face challenges and to remain calm, to be creative, to bring the team together, to promote communication, focus on solution instead of who did it wrong and things like that. So yeah, and I think everyone watching right now will be able to relate with to that one. So yeah, being resilient definitely a plus in everyone's resume, being resilient.
Yes, definitely. It's a very important
Mhm,
skill, if you can call it a skill.
mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
so what would be methods you use to reflect?
yeah. Well, there are many, and but I probably start with the ones that I practice.
Mhm.
I think maybe because I'm convinced they work for me. I don't know if it works for everyone watching right now, but it silence,
Mhm.
uh, being able to contemplate. Uh, I love that. And what I mean by that is just to being able to sit down, to look into the horizon, and don't think about anything. It calms me down. I mean, if possible, if you have the chance. I mean, sometimes we live in a concrete jungle, and something like that is not possible. But if you have the chance to go to a park or just look a tree in front of your house, or just look for a nice environment. I mean, it doesn't have to be green helps, I think. Greens, look at something green and alive is helpful. But if not, you know, you might want to go to a gallery in the nearby. So look at something nice. Look at pictures. But if not, a wall, just like empty wall, looks it works for me as well. So and don't listen to music. That's what I do. I don't listen to something. I turn everything off, and I just sit down and be calm, be still. And a lot of things happen. I begin to see my life slowly, like a film going through in front of my eyes. Thinking about conversations I had with when my wife or my kids, or with people, conversations I had on the phone, plans that I'm working on. The client that I just coach. Did it went well? What did it went wrong? Things that I have to fix at home. Think long range and so on and so forth. I mean, it sounds busy, but it's not. It sounds like I'm being busy, but it's relaxing because I take the
Mhm.
time, just to sit down and not be busy and just contemplate, and then things begin to make sense in my head, you know, and I begin to reflect on that, like, oh, okay. Hmm. But it's a relaxing experience for me.
Mhm. I really like that you um, said a lot of things that were outside of your home. Because for me, I also like when I do this, I also like to go outside
Mm,
or just not be in my apartment
mm,
because at home sometimes you see things or I mean maybe you have a mess somewhere or you see that you should do your laundry and then instantly you're out of this reflection mode. So I think it can really help to get out of your normal um, environment and
mm,
go, like you said, outside to nature, to a museum, whatever, to see something beautiful, but not in your home where you have a lot of chores to do and things to, yeah,
mm,
that can help. I mean, it's not necessary. You can still stay at home and do it at home, but it can help, especially um, if you're distracted really fast.
right.
Then try to get out of that
Mm,
that distracts you. Yeah.
mm. I mean, even going for a walk around the block.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's enough. I mean, just get out of your four walls and look something else. Look at people.
Yeah.
Look at life happening around. That's like people watching. It's a very it's a sport. I think. When I sit in an airport or something like that, or in city center or whatever, just looking at people going by. It's like an interesting
Yeah.
experience also, like cal calming experience somehow.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yes. Yeah, and I also think that that's something I do. I think about conversations I had that went
mm,
wrong,
mm,
and I think about ways that I could have um, said it differently,
mm.
so the person wouldn't have like. Sometimes you say something, but you realize the words were
What did I say?
ending or whatever, but
Right.
you didn't mean that. So you can think about the conversation and think, well, what could I have said or how could I have said it so it wouldn't be as offensive as it
Mm,
came out.
right.
And that also helps with relationships, with leadership. If you say something to a team member and you realize, oh, that went well, maybe think about how could I have said it so it wouldn't be as offensive. Or sometimes you realize, oh, that is a trigger for my teammate. So
Mm,
next time, I'm not going to say it that way. I'm going to do it differently. That also really can help with communication. And
Right.
communication is one of the most important things because we're all living with other people who think differently. So we need
Mm,
to learn to communicate things the right
mm,
way. Yeah.
mm,
But also, I think it's very important that we don't overthink
mm,
because it can spiral into overthinking. And self-awareness and self-reflection has nothing to do with overthinking. It's reflecting on what went wrong, not beating yourself up because it went wrong.
mhm,
That's the difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Not beat ourselves down, right? Like, you did this wrong and things like that. Yeah.
And just say it like that and
Mm,
yeah.
right. Right. Yeah. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemies, and that's not the point
Mhm.
of it. I guess
Yeah.
focus on learning. Uh,
Yes.
Speaking of John Maxwell, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. So
Yes.
so focus on okay, what can I learn out of this experience? And that should be the emphasis on that.
Yeah, another method to reflect and learn to be more self-aware would be journaling. We've talked about it in past episodes.
Hmm.
It's also a good thing to just write down your thoughts.
Hmm.
That way you can go back and read them again. And it's also like your hand does something. It's not just in your head, but you also your head, a hand, not just your head,
Hmm.
does.
Right.
Yeah. And I think for me, when I started journaling, and also now sometimes I like to buy the like books that are pre-made
Hmm.
with
Oh
questions.
yeah.
So journaling doesn't mean you have a blank piece of paper and you just have to write something. That can feel overwhelming for a
Mm,
lot of people at first, at least it did for me.
mm,
But when I have questions and I have there are like in German at least, but I guess that in English
yeah.
or Spanish, there are
Mm,
also books that are pre-made like this. And
right.
we have one that is like a 6 minute daily
Hmm.
practice that I used to do in the morning. That
Right.
is just a few questions and then think about the day ahead, and that's it. And you
Right.
five, yeah, 5, 6 minutes. Maybe it's 10 minutes if you take some more time to think about it, but it's a short, like quick thing to do that helps you think about who do I want to be today. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a beautiful example. Yeah. One thing, I mean, you spoke about something very interesting. It could be overwhelming if people do not never done it, or
Mm,
or or maybe there is this imposter syndrome in them that they're like, well, can I? It's not for me. It sounds fake. Or what am I going to write about, or whatever. We defeat ourselves before we begin. It's begin really small. I know of one of my clients through the coaching process. At the end, she decided, you know what I'm going to do. This is a few months ago, and she is still doing it today. And we just had our final session a couple of weeks ago, and she's still doing it. And the way she began it was by writing 3 things to be thankful for at the end of the
yeah.
day. That's it,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And some days, I mean, today, some days, I mean, that remained true. I mean, she still write that, but sometimes she goes a little deeper, sometimes a little brief, but but the habit is there, and that helps her, to be thankful, of course, to have that mindset, to be grateful for everything around us, but also to think deeper. Why? Who? What did happen? And what does that mean? And so on and so forth. So, it sounds like a very simple thing to do, but it's very deep. So
Right.
start small. It doesn't matter. But it could be something for you, for our viewers.
Mhm. Definitely.
Mm,
I did this too for a very long time. Write
mm,
down 3 things that I'm thankful for on this
yeah,
day.
yeah.
it's not only good for reflection, it's also, like you said, it's a thankfulness.
Mm,
Like you learn to be more grateful and you learn to see the good in each day, even if the day feels like it was a not a really nice day.
hmm. Yeah. Looking the good for the good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I thought about
Yeah.
in preparation of this episode that I'm not doing because it's not something that I do, but maybe some of the listeners can relate to that. And that's creative ways. Um, some people, some musicians we know of that reflect or go through the past experiences by writing songs about it.
Mm,
And um, maybe some painters do the same thing. I don't know. It's not my skill set. I'm
mm,
not a musician. I can't write music, but if you do, that's just something that you could think of. Maybe it's that would be something that for our listeners, um, yeah, to just play some music or paint something.
mm.
Um, I'm not good at it, but if you're good at it, maybe try.
Can you sing,
'Cause,
Anya?
I mean, everybody who can
Well,
speak can.
that's true. Oh,
If
yeah,
you
that's a good one.
asking me if it sounds great, I
Uh,
think
no,
so.
that's up for grabs. Oh, okay, good.
But I
And that,
do like to sing. I mean, I sing when I'm alone
yeah,
or when I'm driving the car or something like this, then I
right.
love to sing. But it's not for everyone's
For
ears.
everyone, for everyone. Okay, I gotcha. That's interesting. You hear in the car when I'm alone. Interesting. Everyone mentions, or there is like this. I don't know if it's a myth or not. Singing in the shower. I don't know if anybody that sings in the shower. I mean, just in films, people singing in the shower. Do you ever sing in the shower?
No,
Yeah,
I
me
just,
neither. Never in life I sing in the shower. I don't know why
yeah,
people say something like that.
yeah, because the sound is also like if you can sing, like if you're a
Yeah,
great
drinking the
singer,
water.
yeah, I mean, but also like if you're a great singer, then I would understand why you sing in the shower. But I normally sing when the music is playing and the
Mm,
music is loud. I don't want to hear myself as much. And in the shower,
right.
the sound is just too much. It's just too much my own voice, and I would be
Yeah.
too self-aware to enjoy singing. So
Right.
I love to sing when I can just like put the volume all up and
Right.
I just sing to the music that is playing.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just thought about that. Like, wait, hold on. I mean, it maybe it's not true, and they just want to. They. I don't know why people say they sing in the shower. Anyways, I was just.
Maybe some of our listeners are
Yeah.
singing
Yeah.
it.
Let us know. Do you sing in the shower?
If you sing in the shower, let us know.
Yeah. Make a recording and send it to us. Man. Well, yeah, no, that's true. That's a good one. I mean, the creative part. That's also for like a little bit for everyone, I guess. But the one that we it's often overlooked, if I may mention that one before. I think I don't know how we're doing on time, Anya. You tell me. Let me know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's meditation and prayer.
Mm.
And more today, people are coming back to that. Even in social media, people are being more vocal, more bold. Often for a long time, there was like a clear separation of your spiritual life or your religious beliefs. Out of but you cannot never take them away from you. I mean, that's part of you. So you cannot just like leave it home and shove them in a box and say like, "Hey, wait for me, I'll be back. I'm going to work. I'll be back." It's really impossible. This part is one of our values, right? Our beliefs, our spiritual beliefs, right? And so what does that mean for leaders? Well, I think and many do. I think many do, and many write about it. And John Maxwell himself, right? But prayer. I think I mentioned a little bit ago contemplation, just being quiet, and that's probably some sort of meditation type, where you just like be still and don't think about much, or maybe like think about something specifically, but in a very relaxed way. But prayer, whether talking to God, it's something that can can help uh, to to be more self-aware, to ask for help. I mean, it sounds weird, leaders asking for help. Yes, we, leaders need also help, all right. And wisdom, asking, seeking up out for wisdom, for for peace, for inspiration, even, and so on and so forth. So it sounds weird, but I think it's a good thing in the morning. There are different rituals where, in some teams and some uh, companies, they have their own ritual. So, how they begin the day. And I know of a couple that they begin with a word of prayer. So, it might not be for everyone, but it also helps set the tone, if not in the company itself or in your team, and private. you know that's one of the things I do in the morning, when everything is quiet, when everything is still, you know and just take a few minutes to reflect, to be grateful, to elevate a couple of prayers, and just get ready for the day. So, if it's something for you, consider that maybe help, maybe a good thing to do to be more self-aware and touch.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So a very good and very um, helpful,
Mm-hmm.
helpful practice. Yeah,
Especially in times of distress. I mean,
yeah.
things. I can just think about, not right now. Everyone in Florida, and I mean, and Mexico. When in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, Acapulco and things like that, the hurricanes, and this time the new hurricane, double uh, double damage for the states. Last week, or with Helen, and then Milton, this a couple of days ago. The damage and the lost life, human loss, and material loss, and so on, and managing that, the rescue, and managing this, it's a huge enterprise. I think in those times, I mean, there is a set of skills that we have as leaders. We can do this, we can manage, we can communicate, we can organize this and that, right? But it comes a point when you said, what, I think we need a little bit other than that. So
Mm,
So prayer might be a good thing. Mhm.
yes, thank you. Yeah, so yes, we're coming to an end. Um, but I want to end with some practical tips
Yes.
that a lot of people have, like we mentioned before, busy schedules. Um, and then in those busy schedules, it might feel overwhelming to put in some time to reflect and learn to be more self-aware. So, what would be one tip from you how to fit that into your daily or weekly practice?
I think it has to be intentional, meaning, so like you have to make it takes a decision. Just make the decision. I'm gonna do it, and then it helps just to set a time of the day. So I'm gonna do it when I wake up. I'm gonna make my cup of coffee, my cup of tea, whatever you do mornings. And then I'm gonna take 5 times for this. Or at lunch, lunch break in the middle of the day, maybe a good natural break to 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 go for a walk before you eat, or after you eat, maybe you go for a walk, good for that digestion, and to clear your head out. Go for a walk and reflect on how the day is going, what you still have to do, and things like that, and then make it a habit. As you know, Annie and I are big on small, tiny habits, tiny steps. Begin small, but be consistent, and then it will grow up from there, and it will develop, and it will compound, and it will take you away to good places. That will be my advice.
Yes, that's amazing. And I think that's a good last word for today's episode. Or do you have something else to add?
We have a long list, but I think
Yeah.
small steps, right?
Yes, yes. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Armando, for this conversation, and have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye.